Hey, welcome back. Today is April 13th, Tuesday, and this is my second post today. And on this post, I'll be telling you about the overall crypto markets, which includes Bitcoin dominance and Bitcoin price action very quickly and see how they could potentially affect the overall altcoin markets. Before diving into Scale Network token, SKL, USD, and see what is going on in here. I'll be telling you about the bullish and bearish case scenarios for today, as well as the short-term price prediction on this market according to what I'm seeing on the charts. Before I begin today, if you guys are enjoying this content, make sure to subscribe to this channel and like this video, as I'll be keeping updated on the latest crypto setups on my watch list, regardless if it's a good day or a bad day. If you want to support me and don't already have a Webull brokerage account, you guys can use my referral link down below. They're still giving away 2 free stocks as of today upon a successful sign up and a qualifying deposit of $100 US. And I will also receive a referral bonus if you guys sign up under me. Please also read my full disclaimer below. I am not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. I am purely sharing my own speculations and opinions on this market. I cannot tell you the future, and you should always do your own due diligence before trading or investing in this market as extremely risky and volatile. If you have any questions or comments, please do only leave them in the comment section below, but I'll try to get to as many of them as possible. Let's see what's going on in this market first. Most importantly, I do take a look into Bitcoin dominance. It tells me where the money could be trending into. Would it be Bitcoin, altcoins, or neither? Today we have Bitcoin dominance down very slightly just right now, less than 0.1%. Now this breaks down to Bitcoin price action up about 5.5%. Total altcoin market cap up over 5.7%. Now this is still the upside of Bitcoin dominance trending downwards because total altcoin market cap is still leading in gains ahead of Bitcoin. I usually emphasize Bitcoin dominance to trend downwards. That's generally speaking better for the altcoins on both the upside and downside. Because conversely speaking, if Bitcoin dominance was trending upwards, the upside of that, I will usually see Bitcoin leading in gains ahead of total altcoin market cap. On the weekly time frame here for Bitcoin dominance, we are still in a falling wedge pattern, which is generally a bullish pattern. If Bitcoin dominance actually breaks to the upside of this pattern, that's not as ideal for the altcoins. Because the best case scenario in that sense would be if Bitcoin is actually trending higher with Bitcoin dominance and total altcoin market cap is trailing behind that of Bitcoin. However, worst case scenario in that sense would be if Bitcoin pulls back, total altcoin market cap is going to feel it a lot more on the downside. Let's go over to Bitcoin. As I've been saying on the weekly time frame here, there has been bearish divergence playing out, and the safer signal I have said to be looking for is looking for a higher high on the price action chart, along with a higher high on the RSI. We are getting the higher high right now on the price action chart, okay? While we are trying to get a higher high here on the RSI here. The last high RSI reading to beat is from this little top, about 75 here, okay? If we are not able to beat that, there will be further bearish divergence. And if we are able to actually beat this right now, in my opinion, that would tell me that this bearish divergence is done playing out. Bearish divergence, more often than not, can still signal a pullback. Let's go on the monthly time frame, where I have been pointing out there has been bearish divergence for quite some time while being in overbought territory, okay? Has not yet played out or yield a red candle just yet, but not something I lose track of because do take a look into the last few times where we have got into very overbought territory here on the monthly time frame. And one data point on here is 1 month's worth of time. Let's take a look into Scale Network. Let's do a recap and see if we have any overbought RSI readings or possible bearish divergence scenarios going from the monthly down to daily timeframes, which I consider to be macro timeframes. Monthly timeframe here, we don't have a reading, so let's move down. Weekly timeframe here, we're currently about 72. And if the price action was to make a higher high here, it does need to beat the last high RSI reading of about 86 coming from this top right here to negate bearish divergence. 3D time frame here, we're currently about 63, just right under 63 here, so not enough about territory. And if the price action wants to make a higher high here, it does need to beat the last high RSI reading here of about 87 coming from this top. Daily, we are not enough about territory as well. We're currently about just over 52. Very similar thing could be said about negating bearish divergence. If the price action wants to make a higher high here on the daily time frame, it does need to beat this top right here to negate bearish divergence. Let's take a look into what has gone on since last time. Since last time, I did say there was two scenarios here, okay? An ascending triangle pattern scenario along with a double top pattern scenario. However, the previous ascending triangle pattern looked more like this, okay? Taking into consideration of the daily 21 MA being support, okay? Something like this. Where price action, however, did break to the downside, so did break that bottom trend line there of the initial ascending triangle pattern. Right now, I could stretch out the bottom trend line here and the top trend line and actually make a bigger ascending triangle pattern. Okay, we do still have rising support here. Now, ascending triangle patterns are bullish patterns, and according to Thomas Bukowski and his website, thepatternSite.com, it is a 63% chance of it breaking to the upside. If it breaks to the upside, I do have a measured target here, which is taken by measuring the opening of the pattern and then adding it back on top of the top trend line here, which I do have it to be about $1.10. I want to say $1.10 just to be even for psychological resistance. Okay. So the measured target would be about $1.67 measured target. So let's say $1.66 adjusted for, $1.68 adjusted for a higher top trend line, slightly higher top trend line here. Measured targets. Now, measured targets are theoretical approximate targets only, may actually be different in real life price action, more or less. Let's take a look into the double top pattern as well, as it is there, and I will not ignore it. Okay. The double top pattern, the neckline of that would be 50 cents, which would be the neckline of that double top pattern. The measured target would theoretically take it down to 0, okay? Now, let's take a look into some of the key supports and resistances relevant to this price action right now and see which of these scenarios are likelier to play out depending on what resistances are broken, what supports and resistances are broken. Let's take a look into the key resistances right now, which is immediately the daily 21 MA. That's right at the price action right now as the blue line. Next up would be about the 70 cents fib level area. Next up, about the 85 cents fib level area. And then the top trend line of this new ascending triangle pattern, okay, would still be $1.10 psychological resistance here, I would say, okay. After the breakout of the pattern there, I guess expect resistance right under $1.30 coming from this past trading resistance wick right here, right under $1.30. And if I want to get another idea of possible resistance here, aside from psychological resistance, I could expect resistance at about the 1.618 fib retracement above the pattern, which would be at about $1.45 fib level area. Now, I could also add 10% increments where traders are likely to take profits, okay, as psychological resistances as well. But we do have two pretty evenly spread out stops here, okay, towards the measured targets. So I could mine the extra 10% increments as well. But I would consider it less because we do have two pretty evenly spread out stops here between the breakout point and the measured target, but that's just my opinion. Let's take a look into the key supports. Key supports immediately would be about the 60 cents fib level area, which is very close to where the daily 50 MA is, which is also the white line, okay? Next up would be the 3-day 21 MA at currently about 53 cents right now, which would be very close to that of the neckline of the double top pattern. If that does not hold, I could potentially be looking at about the 45 cents fit level area. Now let's take a look into the bullish and bearish case scenarios here. Bullish case scenario, price action breaks above this ascending triangle pattern and go towards its measured targets, mining some of those resistance levels I have just pointed out, as those could be points of rejection. Bearish case scenario, price action breaks its bottom trend line. Okay, I think we could probably stretch out this bottom trend line longer, but it would just be a lot more stretched ascending triangle pattern to keep the shape intact. However, if the price action does break this bottom trend line here, I could be looking at about the 60 cents fit level area, which is basically where the daily 50 MA is. If that does not hold, I'll be looking at the very closely, very nearby 3-day 21 MA, currently about the 53 cents level right now before the 50 cents neckline of that double top pattern, and seeing if that holds. Now, these are my bullish and bearish case scenarios for today. Let me know if you found it helpful. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Let me know your agreements, disagreements, feedback. I'd love to hear them. Hope you manage your risk carefully, and if you'd like to see any more of my most recently uploaded videos on YouTube, you guys can check out my links up here on YouTube. See you next time.